Good evening to everybody. The time is now 6:31. We're going to go ahead and start our monthly meeting. At this time, we're going to ask Board Member Keisha Gill to give us the invocation.
We thank you this day for allowing us to come together again for another school board meeting, Lord. As we go into our meeting, Lord, we thank you for what you're going to do. Allow us to be on one accord and help us to make the right decisions for our district, Lord. Lord, we ask that you continue to watch over our interim superintendent and her cabin. We ask that you watch over our attorney and also watch over the board members, Lord. We ask that you watch over our entire school district and our students as they go through the remaining of this year. We thank you for everything that you're doing. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Gill. Before we get started, we have a couple of items on this agenda that we're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask for a motion, and we're going to table it to our working meeting, which would be, I think, 328, not sure. But so the first thing that I want to, I think some of you may have the Hope County High School invitation, FAMU. It may be on your agenda, but that's going to be on our next monthly meeting, which is April 4th. Can I have someone to make a motion that this item be taken off and put on April 4th's agenda? Do y'all have it on the agenda? Because it was initially. So if it's not, okay, well, that's good.
Not sure, what item is that?
It was up under the spotlight on success. It was put on by mistake for this month. You y'all see that? Okay, we're good. So we'll move forward. So the next item that I need a motion for, it'll be for the number 4 action items, exceptional children's contracts. I need a motion for us to put this on the work session meeting. We would not be discussing any of these items. I looked at this topic a couple of nights ago. It was only 7, then it turned out to be 10. This is way too much for us to discuss on tonight. So I need a motion for this to be put on the work session meeting.
Madam Chair, make a motion that we put action item number 4, acceptance children's contract on our next meeting.
Motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussions? Motion on the floor, it's been second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So the action item number 4, exception of children contracts, will be tabled to March 28th, I think it is. 3/28.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Water?
Point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
I think my number 4.
Under action items?
Yeah, my number 4 action item is board policy.
Number 8?
I sent out a success and logged in. Just go ahead. I don't have it.
You don't have it?
I don't think.
Okay.
I'm logged in.
All right, so we're gonna move forward. I think those were the only ones that, let's see. Also, administration. Item C, month-to-date financial report. That's also gonna be moved to 3/28 at our work session meeting. So I need a motion, please.
Madam Chair, make a motion that we table administration section C month-to-date financial report to our working meeting on March the 28th.
Second, any discussions? So we have a motion to move the item number C from the administration item, month to date financial reports. It's been moved, a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So now we'll move forward with our meeting. I just like to say that, last month I had an opportunity, Vice Chairman and I, we went to, I'm sorry if y'all can't hear, can you hear me? We had an opportunity to judge, doors at Don Steed Elementary. And, it was awesome. They had a lot of doors that was very, very meaningful. It was about Black History Month. The ideas was just so, they were very, very awesome. And so we couldn't allow all of those doors to win. However, I really wanted them to because they were very, very, very nice doors. So we had to narrow that down. And I just thank Don Steve, if you're here, for the opportunity of letting us come out that day. It was fun. We got to see some children, teachers, and the principals, of course, that day. It was very, very enjoyable. So invite us again. The next thing I want to talk about was the bus driver monitor luncheon. We planned that out along with our interim assistant superintendent. Yes, that's assistant superintendent, but our interim superintendent, Dr. Register, she helped us out a lot along with Meredith. I think it turned out great. There was so many bus drivers and monitors that was so happy about what happened on yesterday. And I just thank the staff, Dr. Register's cabinet, for helping us along with that. They helped serve, they helped with the declaration. So I just think that that was something that was done, long time coming. I just like to think of Polk County as a family. We're small here. We're not like Charlotte, Raleigh. We're like neighbors that knock on the door. Can we have a glass of water? Can we get some sugar? We're just that small in size. And I just feel that we should look out for everyone, all our families, the students, the staff here at Hope County. Everybody means something. Everybody should be treated as such. Nobody is better than the next person. We're all here trying to make a living, trying to provide for our families. And I just think that we need to keep that in our minds, that no one is better, no one is different. You know, if you look at it, we're all across the board. Some may be doing a little bit better, but we're all the same. So just keeping in mind that we are a family here in Hope County, we should look out for one another. We shouldn't expect for people to make same salaries and forever. We looked at salaries today where some people have been making the same for 19, 15, 20 years, and I don't think that's right. I really don't. So hopefully, with God's will, God's help, and the knowledge that we're learning along the way, we're praying that things are going to change. Things are going to change. We're family. So we should look at one another as such. The last thing that I want to talk about was nepotism. I received a letter a couple of months ago, and it was very disturbing. They sent it anonymously. However, it's truth behind this letter, and it's talking about people in places where they're supervising their family members. So the suggestion that I came up with when I spoke to Attorney Murchison is that give everyone the opportunity to say, hey, I have my son, my daughter, cousin, whomever. It's no, we're not gonna fire you. The only way that may come about is the fact that you keep that from us and don't tell the truth. Because people know, and it's not right, it's not fair for us to supervise our family member, because somewhere along the line, somebody's going to be favored. So let's be honest. You can do a little switching around. Everybody keep their job. So, but let's be honest, because people are talking. They're talking about family members being supervised by family members. And it's not fair. They're not getting treated the way some of the other ones will be treated because they're family members. So I'm just asking everyone to be honest. let us know ahead of time. I think we already started that. I'm gonna have, Dr. Register to piggyback off of what I'm saying. But we already got some things in place. Some people have already, said something. So, and I thank you for that, for the ones that have already responded. So, I'm gonna go ahead and have, Dr. Register to, again, talk about, the policy, because we do have a policy in place. And people don't mind telling you it's a policy, and that's what was stated in my letter. And they were looking for me to respond. I thought maybe by now, before now, I would have responded, but I'm responding now. I have looked into it, and that's what we decided to do, was to send out letters and email saying, hey, if you got somebody working for you, that's your family member, please speak up. So I'm gonna turn this part over to Dr. Register.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once I was charged with looking into nepotism, the first thing I did on February the 15th, we shared the nepotism policy with our leadership team. Our leadership team consists of our directors, our assistant superintendents, as well as our principals and anyone else in a supervisory role. From there, once we share the policy, which is 7,100, I want to say each, Madam Chair gave each board member a copy of the policy. Once we shared the policy at our February 15th meeting, I had Sean O'Connor, our assistant superintendent for human resources, to give out a survey to everyone who is in a supervisory role, just to let us know if they are supervising any immediate family based off of the definition in the policy 7,100. And so in that case, we have responses, and it was required that everyone respond. We have 5 situations at the school level that we will address, and then 1 situation at the district level that will be addressed. And I want to thank everyone who filled out the policy and was honest in responding. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Register. So again, if you have any questions, you can speak with Dr. Register or myself. But we plan to take care of, we don't want anybody to lose their job behind it. Mistakes happen, but we're just gonna move forward. Just do a little switching around so everybody can keep their jobs. But we just wanna be honest, wanna be fair across the board. Thank you. So we're gonna, go ahead.
Point of order.
Mhm.
Are you finished with your report?
Mhm.
Okay, because I just wanted to report that had an opportunity to go to West Hope Elementary School. And they had a Black History program as well. And the Black History program was really nice. Some of it is on Facebook. I'm not sure if it's on West Hope Elementary Facebook. I'm hoping it is. But the kids, we had EC students out there that would not say anything in class, but sang so well. And I was born by the river, Sam Cooke, they sang that song. I was able, I'm into theater, to do a skit by Paul Lawrence Dunbar in the morning, Paul Lawrence Dunbar, and it went on and on and on. The kids, all of the kids were in at the same time. And so they had an opportunity to sing, and it was just a great time, a great event. So I did want to share that with you all.
Oh, thank you.
Madam Chair. Yes, I would also like to say myself and Ms. Blue, we went to Upchurch last Wednesday, and they had the Beta Club induction. And when I say those students did their thing on last Wednesday, they did. It was an awesome program. And I want to say thanks to Ms. Graham and her team at Upchurch. They did an excellent job. Ms. Simmons was putting that program together. Also, this past Saturday, I was at Scarlock Elementary, and I went to a federal program for our Hispanic families. And when I say it was an awesome turnout, there was about 22 families there. And they were being educated and And they seem to enjoy it and get some information on how they can move forward in different areas. So that was a good program, I would say, to Dr. Fortenberry and her team. It was an excellent program that they put on this past Saturday for the families at Scarlett.
Okay. Again, let's report good things in the county, and that was really great that you all attended to put out the bad, but we gotta start putting out the good. Agree?
Agreed.
So at this time, we're gonna ask for the approval of the agenda.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agenda for today, March 14th, 2023.
Motion on the floor, I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Motion on the floor is to approve the agenda from March 14th. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? We move forward. At this time, we're gonna turn spotlight on success over to Dr. Register.
Madam Chair and the school board members, we do have 7 items for Spotlight on Success. Our first item is the cafeteria inspection rating of 100%, and that will be presented by Executive Director of Child Nutrition, Ms. Deborah Carpenter.
Madam Chair Sutherland, Interim Superintendent, Dr. Register, and all the board members. Thank you for allowing us to come this evening. East Hope Middle School is the school that received a 100% rating from our environmental health inspector from our county office. They inspect quarterly, and they really are very tough. This school, the manager came on new, and she had an entire new team except one person. And that person was not at East Hope last year. So we are excited that she came in and worked so hard, because this is something she told me from the very beginning. She said, I'm gonna make you proud and we're gonna get our 100. That was important to her. And so we're excited this evening to have Ms. Bonnie Collins. Hello. Ms. Collins is our manager at East Hope Middle School. She brings to the table lots of years of experience from Wendy's. We stole her from Wendy's. And it took me a long time. But she decided to come because she said that she wanted something different and she wanted to help the children. That was her main goal. And so she came in with a bang. She tells me every day, I'm learning, I'm growing, just work with me. I said, I'm working with you. I'm working with you, Ms. Bonnie. But she has really taken the initiatives to really work hard. Mr. Covington, oh, he is here. Mr. Covington is very proud of that team. He's coming forth now. He's very proud of that team. He's very proud of Ms. Bonnie coming in and doing an excellent job. Mr. Covington, you want to say something?
Yes, Ms. Collins just hit the ground running when she came in. It was just really awesome. When she came in over summer, I'd seen her, she was moving furniture and, you know, sterilizing things. This is all in summer and you could tell, and it all paid off. She really cares a lot about it. Her team is really good. They're a real team down there. She'll have a question, she'll ask, and then she'll say, I gotta talk to Ms. Carpenter, and they get everything together. But she really takes pride in what she does and definitely be rewarded, and it paid off with that 100 sanitation rating. So I really am definitely proud of her. It makes us look good as a school, but it's awesome. I mean, because we all do it together. We all work together. She doesn't mind putting in a work order or work, hey, this needs to be replaced, Mr. Covington. I remember there was one little thing that was always coming up. She said, Mr. Covington, this is the one thing they keep saying, we're not gonna get 100, we don't have this. We put in a work order, put in a work order. It looks like we got it taken care of. We're very proud of our cafeteria staff at East Hope.
Okay, congratulations. Yes. So we have an award for her today. It says Hope County Schools presented to East Hope Middle School cafeteria staff 100% inspection rating presented by the Hope County Board of Education, March 14th, 2023.
You want to say something this time?
She will not talk.
You look like you were edging toward that microphone, like you know.
She will not talk. She's very engaged, but she will not talk.
No, blank. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Congratulations. I will. Let's give another.
Next on the spotlight on success, Elizabeth Santimore, and she'll be recognized by our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, Dr. Dawn Ramsey.
All right.
Good evening. So I want to share a little story with you about Miss Elizabeth Santimore. Her journey in Hope County began Wednesday, June 6, 2012. That was the day of her virtual interview at Turlock Elementary School. Now, how do I say on that day, that's when her journey began? It was just an interview. But on that day, without a shadow of a doubt, I knew she was right for Turlock and Hope County Schools. And there was no way I was going to let her slip through our fingers. I have seen Ms. Santimore grow for the past 11 years and adapt to varying positions. I've had the opportunity to observe Ms. Santimore's work over an extended period of time in her role as a classroom teacher, as part of the blended learning cohort, and most recently as a teacher leader serving at Sand Hills Regional Teacher of the Year. As an intervention specialist at East Hope Middle, Ms. Santimore works with children to address their individual needs, and she provides engaging lessons that will help close that learning gap. She works with teachers in her school to collaborate and plan those well thought out lessons. She provides support to teachers and students and checks in on those who just need it. She has accomplished these tasks with great initiative, often having to look at new strategies in order to find a technique that might be successful with struggling learners. She has a wonderful rapport with people of all ages, especially children she meets within her classroom. She has a special talent for working with the children who need a little more guidance and a little more support. Her ability to break down that information, make it relevant and applicable, and provide support when needed make her an excellent teacher. Ms. Santimore has been a tremendous asset to Hope County Schools, and I can't wait to see what she does next.
Sorry.
I can give you some context.
We got rid of this commercial.
So while we're waiting on the meeting letter to come out, Ms. Santimore was recognized as our Teacher of the Week on WRAL, so we're going to show that video.
So our teacher of the week has spent her whole career in Hope County, and her colleagues are recognizing all her success. WRAL's Von Trader introduces us to an educator who's making sure new teachers can learn from her experiences.
Teaching runs in Elizabeth Santimore's family.
I'm actually a third-generation educator. My grandmother taught for 25 years, and my mom teaches in Sampson County, North Carolina. So it's kind of the family career.
Santimore moved from Pennsylvania to Hope County in 2012 to become a teacher. Today, she's an intervention specialist at East Hope Middle School.
I pull students school-wide and support their areas of need. So if they're behind in reading, I can pull and support with that. If they're behind in math, I can pull and support with that.
This year, Santimore was named the Borough's Welcome Fund Sand Hills Region Teacher of the Year. She's working with other educators all over North Carolina to find the best ways to help students succeed.
And I think it's so important as veteran educators in our state that we support the new teachers to the profession, whether they're entering a traditional route or they're doing a residency or a lateral entry program, that we make sure that our tools become their tools and our strategies become their strategies.
Elizabeth Santimore is WRAL's Teacher of the Week. I'm Brian Schrader, WRAL News.
It is an honor to present this certificate to you as being one of the teachers. I worked at Scurlock and she was at Scurlock and they brought this reading program to the school and they just threw it on the first grade teachers. Well, we all was new. So they gave Miss Santamore to Miss Blue. And when she finished with me, I felt like I could teach that to the world. So I want to say thank you. But today, Polk County School Certificate of Recognition, the certificate is proudly presented to Elizabeth Santamore, WRAL Teacher of the Week. We are proud of your hard work, dedication, and achievement.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say thank you. I have been on a journey this year everywhere, and every time I've gone to Principal Covington and said, hey, they want to come record for Portrait of a Graduate, he's like, bring them in. Hey, I'm leaving for 3 days to go to Washington, D.C. to advocate for ed policy change. He says, take your days. And so I could not be more thankful for the support that you have given me this year, because I could not have done anything to learn and grow if this district didn't bless the work. So thank you so much, all of you. I know that some of you are new, but Colin, you hired me, girl. I'm gonna have you speak at everything I do though, because every time you get up there, I'm like, oh. So thank you so much for allowing me to fulfill this journey. I appreciate it. Okay.
It was good.
Oh.
Mr. Coven's here, it's good too.
Hey, I told him that. I was like, it's like,
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Cook it.
Next, we'll have our bus driver monitor recognition by Mr. Russ Bryant.
Madam Chair, board members, Interim Superintendent Dr. Rescher, thank you for this opportunity. I want to say, first off, is the bus drivers were beside themselves yesterday. And the monitors, and thank you for what you've done for Polk County Transportation and bus drivers. It gave them opportunity to have a light on them. And I know that they're very appreciative of everything they've received. And I thank you for the leadership, Madam Chair, Superintendent, also Ms. Bounds, for preparing for this and getting everything together. I will tell you that there were some things that we have done in my office today to make sure that we had our times, we get our times right. And we had a few that had the lap of years of service, and that's where some of the change was at. But thank you very much for everything you've done, and it meant a lot. We have a few pictures right here we're going to share with you from yesterday. This is the first time I've been in Hood County in the right building, and every seat was filled. From the back to the front, to the hallway, to the hallway. See the smiles. That's something. See the first sight in the morning, the last sight in the afternoon of every student. If I had never been a bus driver, I couldn't experience that. And no. And again, I say thank you for your support.
And I just want to add to thank the school board members for that event. Especially, I would like to have a special thank you to Madam Chair for really pushing and being the brain behind that event, really wanting to make it happen. And then the other board members agreeing and supporting that vision. So thank you so much for that. And there'll be others to come as well. Next on our list of spotlight on success, the athletic recognition, Mr. Gary Blue, our athletic director.
Madam Chair, Dr. Rescher, I appreciate the opportunity to recognize one of our special athletes here at Hokai. If you were following the wrestling program, our wrestling program was very, very successful this year. And it all started out in the East region, and Cedric Griffin, he was involved in the wrestling part, and I was following him online, and I kept watching. He defeated his first guy very quick. He defeated the second guy very quick, and he defeated his third person in less than 2 minutes. You think about that. Had 3 wins and less than 2 minutes. And so I said, he's got to be MVP of the East region. So he did. He went in and finished them off. He won his weight class, and he was named most valuable player, most outstanding wrestler for the East region. And I think that's due for some recognition. So Cedric passed.
Just to add, so my name is Brandon Locke, I'm the head coach of the wrestling team. CJ is one of those kids that regardless of where he's at or what we got going on, you can always find him close to a wrestling mat, tied to a plan somewhere. He's always in the room, he's always working. His mother's played a really big part in his involvement in everything that we do. And so he's just one of those kids, he does what he's supposed to do when he's supposed to do it. So I really commend him. The award that he won, there was over 200 kids that competed at that tournament. We had a handful of other kids on our team that were very eligible for that award. For him to come away with it being so close and contested just kind of speaks to how hard he worked and how dedicated he's been and how dominant of a performance it really was. And so I just want to commend him for that as well. Thank you guys for acknowledging his success.
Congratulations. This award says, making the grade, Polk County Schools, Cedric Griffin, NCHSAA East Regional Wrestling MVP, presented by the Polk County Board of Education, March the 14th, 2023. And I want to say that's one sport that I did not. Thank you so much for your work.
Follow next year, right?
It's a basketball player. Come on, parents. You want to stand aside? Stand beside.
So we're gonna get too far from it.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, I'll take a couple. Congratulations. Oh, Mom wanted to. Okay, yeah, Mom, okay. Got a do-over. I really do want to take a picture. Hold on.
He always trying to hide. Okay, last one, I promise. Okay. Thank you.
Next, we have our Finance Department Award that will be presented by Dr. Chad Hunt, Assistant Superintendent of Auxiliary Services.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Honor. The Hope County Board of Education Finance Department received the Government of Finance Officers Association, or GFOA, and the Certificate of Excellence, also COE, awards for the 2020-2021 school year. Once the annual fiscal audit is completed, the information is compiled into a comprehensive annual financial audit, also known as CAFR, and submitted to these organizations for review on a national level. The GFOA established a Distinguished Budget Presentation Awards program to encourage and assist state and local governments to prepare budget documents of the very highest quality that reflect both the guidelines established by the National Advisory Council on state and local budgeting and the GFOA's best practices on budgeting, and then to recognize individual governments that succeeded in achieving that goal. The Association of the School Business Officials International recognizes districts that have met the program's highest standards for financial reporting and transparency. The ASBO awarded Hope County Board of Education a Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for the 2020-2021 year. Hope County Schools is one of the 43 PSUs, or public school units, or school districts across the state that received this recognition for the 2020 and 2021 school year.
You gonna read it? No, theirs is on the wall. We're just gonna point out that there's. Ms. Jagus said they were just gonna keep it on the wall. But we do wanna get a picture.
I have a team of 5, but only 3 can make it.
Okay.
So no board member wants to send it?
Come on.
Yes. Why, thank you. Why, thank you.
Everybody join us.
It's a family affair, right? It's a family. Represents all.
Right.
Look at that.
Oh, no. She is too.
A lot of good looking folks in one picture. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Spotlight on Success, Hope High Five for March, and that is Mr. Sean O'Connor.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Madam Superintendent. I have the honor tonight to recognize some individuals that go above and beyond each and every day in our school system. We will highlight 5 individuals that exemplify the attitude, effort, and dedication necessary to make a difference in the lives of the students of Hope County Schools. Every Hope High Five winner goes above and beyond each and every day, and we could not do this every day without them and everything that they bring to our district. We started the Hope High Five program. This is the inaugural class here tonight. So they are trailblazers in their own regard. But we started this so that we could recognize individuals that we know are super important to our organization that may not get recognition all the time. So our first class, our inaugural class, and please stand up if you're here and come on up. Miss Faith Oxendine. Miss Faith Oxendine is an interpreter and translator. and she was nominated by Dr. Erica Fortenberry. Ms. China Del Bratcher. Ms. Del Bratcher is a first-year teacher in Hope County Schools at Don C. Elementary, and she was nominated by her principal, Haley Hall. Ms. Tanya Lowry. Ms. Tanya Lowry is an instructional assistant and bus driver at Hawkeye Elementary School, and she was nominated by her principal, Ms. Heather Brower. Ms. Meredith Hines. I don't see Ms. Hines here tonight, but she is the guidance counselor at West Hope Elementary School, and she was nominated by her principal, Pam O'Brien. And our final, but certainly not last, Ms. Cheryl McCrae, who is the bookkeeper and data manager at Shirley School. And Ms. McCrae was nominated by her principal, Mr. Puckett. So we wanted to do something new for them. In our HR department, we wanted to be in the schools with them. So we kind of coordinated with their principals to set up an ambush in their home environments so we can catch them off guard and they can celebrate with the people they work with each and every day. So Ms. Bounds, and I want to say thank you, Ms. Bounds, for putting together this video because we were so excited to do it. None of us would have caught any of it on video or photo, but Ms. Bounds was there with her camera ready.
This is a person you want on your team who will report to work each and every day with a positive attitude that is contagious and a willingness to help everyone. When you think about our motto, one team, one goal, you speak of faith, oxygen. We're nominated by Mr. Puckett. And Mr. Puckett said, always willing to do what is needed for students, staff, and the school. Ms. McRae is flexible and has a knack for always knowing just what to do or say to brighten up the day. She's cool, calm, and collected under pressure. And every time there's a crisis, we can rely on
Ms. Bratcher. So you get that love today.
As BT has shown her dedication throughout the school year, from day one, she's here bright and early each day and stays past the closing of school each afternoon. The relationships that she takes the time to build with her students, her peers, and her families can be seen throughout the hard work those around her put in when they are close to her because of her. She's constantly looking for ways to make our school better, to include how to start a mentoring program, to uplift students who need extra push and hope that they have students to be their best, even when they don't think they can. It's a pleasure to have her as part of our Don C family. We're lucky that she chose. We're nominated by Ms. Brower. We wanted to make sure that we knew that you care so much about your students and you take care of getting them to and from school every single day, and you're flexible and you're wonderful and you love these kids. So we just want to stop by and say, we appreciate you and thank you for all your kids. It's your first year, but you work diligently as staff members to ensure students' physical skills and goals are being met. And as you make student groups based off the needs of the kids in the classroom, we work very hard with the support staff, team, and administration to ensure we are meeting the needs of celebration with PBIS, monthly celebrations and updates our Dolphins of the Month and staff of the monthly bulletin boards. When needed, this time we'll jump right in to assist in any situation. So we want to say thank you. We appreciate what we do for the kids here, what you for our school.
Gotta take a picture.
Oh, shoot. Thank
You wanna get one too? I'll be going front.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Okay.
And this is the first time that we have given out the high fives, and we will continue that each month. Wonderful. And then last on our list was Spotlight on Success. We would like to thank West Hope Middle School for the artwork that's displayed at the Board of Education. At this time, I turn it back into the hands of Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Register. That was awesome. Awesome. Good things. That's what I like to see. Just want to say, congratulations to, Mr. Carpenter, Miss Carpenter, Dr. Covington, and also the young lady that won that 100%, for the, gosh, I'm getting ahead of myself, for the nutrition. I'd like to say congratulations, so proud of you. Where did you get 100% from? That was awesome. Good job. And also Miss Elizabeth Santamore, congratulations to you as well. Congratulations. I know Mr. Covington sitting back over there, he all proud. Look at him smiling. I said, what is this? He's so weak. Congratulations. Y'all have a great leader, Dr. Covington. I always heard great things about him. I used to have my grandson, I used to take him and pick him up from school, and he would be right out there with those directing the traffic and calling the kids out, Trey, your mom is here. So he didn't have a problem with this, real friendly. And I just thank you, keep that attitude, and you're gonna continue to have much success at your school. Thank you so much. And also, Mr. Russ, thank you for lending us your drivers and your monitors. I just want to say that whenever they had made that decision to give the bus drivers a raise, Dr. Russ wasn't a part of that decision.
Okay.
And I want him to know tonight, anything that we do this day forward concerning the monitors and the buses, you will be a part of that. You will be part of every decision that we make for those drivers, because he should have been a part of that decision. And so I know when he first met us, he thought Ruben and myself and Catherine was like, where these people coming from? Because we was like, what in the world? Why this amount of money? Where's the money? And but he sat there very patiently, and he accepted our questions, and he tried his best to answer us. And you know, we was very disappointed to learn that he wasn't a part of that decision, that he should have been as the director over those drivers and monitors. He should have been a part, but he will be a part of the decision making when we make the decisions to give our drivers a raise. And we want him to be a part because we want to hear his input. I mean, out of respect, he should have been there. And from now on, he will be there. I hate that guy left, the athlete, whenever they was describing him and everything that he was winning, I thought he was gonna be a big guy. And he turned out to be a small guy, but I want to say congratulations to Mr. Cedric for a job well done. I'm just looking forward to him just doing bigger and greater things to come. And I really thought he was gonna be all big and muscular, but strength is not always in the muscles. So he had to have a strategy to win. And the finance department, Ms. Juanay and her staff, congratulations, good job, well done. I appreciate that, that was awesome. And the Hope High Fives, I thought that was a catchy name. I don't know who made that up, but I thought that was awesome. Keep it up. Let's let our teachers know that we appreciate them, our staff, let's keep it up, you know, let them know that we appreciate you. No job has been, we can't complete our day at these schools without everybody's input and everybody work together as a team. So let's keep that up, Dr. O'Connor. Let's keep it up. Thank you. So this concludes, no, the artwork display. That was a nice, have anybody, y'all seen it? Catherine, have you seen it? The artwork? Yes, it's awesome. It's awesome. So this concludes our spotlight on success. And at this time, we're gonna have our public comments by our attorney Murchison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the public are invited to come and speak to the board at the monthly board meeting. We have 3 minutes per individual who has signed up, and we have 2 members that have signed up today. I do want to remind people that the board members do not respond to or address speakers' comments. All comments must be respectful and civil for ordinary rules of order and decorum. And comments regarding particular individual employees, student records, or other matters which are required to be kept confidential may not be discussed in this open forum setting. With that, we'll invite Ms. Kirsten Carter Jackson to come to the podium.
Hi, good evening to all. We are here representing the Hope County, the students of the Hope County Wind Ensemble here at the very own Hope County High School. We recently got invited to the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University Wind Dance Festival located in Tallahassee, Florida. With that being said, Florida A&M, or FAMU for short, is not only the pioneer for HBCU cultures within college and universities, but the band culture itself within high schools like ourselves. Along with that, we over time have not only been inspired by FAMU, but we've had a lot of clinics with other schools, and with the clinics with those schools, like recently we just went to Virginia State University and we got clinician by one of the alumni of FAMU. And along with that, it's come with a lot of, not pressure, but a lot of opportunities. And with those opportunities, unfortunately, comes with a lack of funding. With the influx of financial issues and the influx of expenses through traveling, we have unfortunately had to pass up on a lot of our opportunities. Because unfortunately with the funding, if you recently walked inside of this library, you may have seen a Met Gala form. It's in a briefcase, not a briefcase, it's in like a clear case, and it has a date on March 24th. We are hosting our own gala to not only raise money for our band program, but to bring attention to the fact that unfortunately with the programs that we have inside of our schools, we do lack that funding. We see and we support the direction that this new board has come into, and with that, we appreciate the support and opportunity to give the students, staff, and the support you've given the community. With that being said, we are here today to not only ask for your support and help with funding our Florida A&M trip, but hopefully just to get an understanding of, we want more opportunities not only for ourselves, but to open up future doors for our band program, for other programs around the community, for our younger students in the middle schools and elementary schools, and even to get our seniors out into the public as we ourselves have looking into colleges, college bands, and opportunities given to us.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll now hear from, and I apologize, I can't read the last name. First name is Sarah.
It's Sarah. Thank you all for having me tonight. This is my first board meeting ever. It's been super interesting and kind of fun. But I'm here tonight. I'm a parent of a child at Sandy Grove Elementary. He's a 5-year-old in the exceptional children's class. He has an excellent teacher and aide.
I'm sorry, we don't talk about individual students. If you've got a concern about your particular teacher or staff for your son, this will need to go to.
Okay.
another forum.
Well, I had a concern because he hasn't been getting physical therapy all year.
Yeah,
And
that's a confidential matter, so not something that's addressed in this forum, but we can make sure a staff member follows up with you on that issue. Thank you. Madam Chair, that is it for public comment.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, need a motion to approve minutes for January and February 2023, 2023 to the 2024 school calendar, MECCON services, policy 3460, graduation requirements, policy 6140, student wellness, and field trips.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as read.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Have a motion to approve the consent agenda. It's been, second. Any opposed? I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Okay, action items. We're going to turn this over to Dr. Register.
Our first action item is a high school project, the reduction of capacity.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Holborn with SFLA Architects. I am the project manager for the Polk County High School project. What we wanted to go over today is a reduction in the square foot and capacity of the current project, mainly to try to meet budget requirements. Please go to the next slide. So this slide here is a recap of the previous presentation meeting. What this highlights really is the two numbers on the bottom is projected enrollment information. So if you look at the 29 and 2030 projected enrollment, it's 2,484 students total for Hope High School. Can you go to the next slide, please? On this slide here, the current project will have a total student capacity of 2,924. And you can see on the bottom right where it says proposed capacity, 1,657 would be the new facility, and then the McDonald's side of campus would have 1,267. Go to the next slide, please. So that's really just a recap numbers that we have reviewed previously. So this is the first and second floor plans of the current project as it is currently in design. So on the left there, if you look at the numbers, the gross square feet currently sits at 153,332. What was programmed and budgeted is 144,824. Through just working through program and other elements, some DPI comments that we've received about lab size, things like that, the project has enlarged quite a bit. The other thing that we recognized here is that the student count is 440 students over your predicted 2030 student count. So if you could go to the next slide, please. So with this reduction, what we're looking at is essentially removing the left side of the building, which are all just your standard classroom sizes. It brings the gross square foot down to 141,337. So we're removing just shy of 12,000 square feet. It brings that square foot number below what was originally programmed by a little bit. And so the new student count would be 2,440. And so if you see the predicted 2030, you're about 44 students shy of your 2030 prediction. But that's taking into account the 75% utilization rate. So, with a 4x4 block schedule, your classes occupied 3 classes a day. And it sits, teachers use the one. So if you upped your utilization to 85%, say you hit the 2030 predicted student count, this, campus could still house 2,765 at just an 85% utilization rate. So we feel that the capacity of this project can still handle lots of students 10, 15 years out, based on the predictions that we have from the school board. So in order to reduce the budget to what we currently have, this is a proposal that we would like to ask the board to approve. Is there any questions about it? I know I kind of rattled off a lot of numbers. Some of the downsides of being an architect or what numbers involved.
So you want to deduct one whole side of the building?
It's hard to maybe see there. Can you see the hashed area on the left side there where it's sort of grayed out? Yeah, that area right there. It's just that little section there that goes away. I'm sorry?
Is that, I see it's all the way across.
Yeah, so it's just it's that end of the building. And you would still, the way it's designed is, let's say in the future, you'd be able to expand that on in the future if you want to, if, assuming there's not a second high school or something else that happens. If the decision was to make, you could very easily, we have the space on the site and the way the building's designed. This still has 40 core classrooms and 8 science classrooms. It has 4 EC classrooms and the OCS room.
And so the rationale being, the rationale being what?
Budget. With inflation and other factors, you can see that the original program budget was only for 144,000 square feet. The project, is at 153,000. So to try to bring that back in line, it also does kind of somewhat realign with the capacity, projections. Because at 2,900, you're projected out, and that's also quite a large campus at that point too.
I was thinking we was at 27 anyway. I didn't know we was like 29. I thought we had projected 27. 100 students. Say that again.
We're at 20, well, the projection for how many students you're gonna have for 2030 is only 2484.
I thought we were building for 27.
No,
At one point. So we were building for 29?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
so this is trying to kind of realign that capacity a bit, bring the project under budget, and just make sure, we've heard loud and clear, we have a budget, don't go over it. And this is trying to kind of realign things,
So how many times do you think, because we haven't even started, so how many times do you think we might have to realign, because
this is
inflation
it.
is.
No, this is it. No, this is it. We worked really hard with Mike and Mike can speak to numbers more.
Hey, Mike.
Good evening, how are you all tonight?
Yeah.
My name is Mike Burrows, I'm from MVP, and Superintendent Register asked us to come in and help take a look at the original project and original project budget, and to, since the grant was applied for last year about this time, things have changed, and things have changed quite a bit as far as the inflation of the building costs have come. It's also a good idea to go ahead and look at the total project budget, everything else that you're going to need to buy, and everything that needs to be under that cap that we have. So in meeting with MEPCON and meeting with the architect in their offices, we walked through each one of the line items that we had, made sure that how they could address capacity, and made sure how they could address it in an easy way, so that if there's a future change or future need, that it gives a flexibility to the board to be able to make that modification and either invest in this building and adding more additions, or at least expand through capacity utilization the life of the building for a longer time. And then that gives you more opportunities for another 15 years, 20 years when you need to plan other facilities. So with that then, based off the reductions that could be easily made in the design that didn't affect any of the core spaces, that didn't affect any of your core classroom spaces, we looked at the overall budget, and that's the next item on the agenda. And you can see in the detail that may be with you in front of your screen, I've highlighted the sources of the income for the project. I've highlighted then the owner's costs that may be associated with the project, the architect's fees, other fees that you may absorb, such as your furniture and equipment and your IT and technology budgets. We've addressed commissioning. State requires a third-party commissioning service to come in and make sure the building's operating properly. I've also included a number for our program management fees, which is another item to discuss here in the action items coming up. And then the estimated total cost of construction from Metcon right now with these adjustments in place with the reduction in square footage and the current architect's fees and all their scopes. So with that, along with a contingency that you still have within the project budget that you have not spent, but it's prudent to have in there in case things change between the design, development, and construction documents a little bit more. Metcon has enough money in contingencies within their budget. The architects covered all the scope within the project budget. You still have a contingency within your project budget to address items that may come up. And overall, you're still right at the total funded amounts over there.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any questions? Okay. Rosa, to your question, it was, it's gonna be 16 classes that's gonna be removed. 8 on the top, 8 on the bottom. And it was initially for 2,924 students. So in order for them to bring us back within our budget, that's what they had to do, was make those changes. Because being that we're not able to go back to the county commissioners and get money, then this is what we have to do. And we're not gonna give a penny more than what's on this paper, 78,406,025, whatever, we're not gonna pay. And they got their understanding last week. We're not gonna. So they had to cut something out to get us back in the budget.
And then also keep in mind the owner's contingency with that 2.6 million, that's some cushion.
Was that 2 point, it was 2 million what?
2.6. Yeah. 6.5.
Madam Chair, may I make an additional comment? I also just want to commend the individuals you have working on this project. This actually worked exactly as you would want it to. You have wonderful architects who designed you a beautiful building, but as Mike acknowledged, the project grew a little bit based on recommendations from DPI and other things since the time that the grant came in. So that's where Mike Burris and Metcom stepped in and said, let's all get together and bring this back into budget. So those folks helped the architect find ways that made it feasible. I do know that there was a comment and there was a question that was brought up at some point by members in the community that perhaps the gym was being reduced in size. That is not true. None of the core capacity is being, none of the core space is being reduced. It's just taking off the classrooms and the amount of classrooms you remove and the reason you get to the capacity you are is those are all just guidelines from DPI. So there's a certain number of students that can be accommodated by those classrooms. So that's how you get down. You lose about 450 students into 75% capacity by removing those 16 classrooms. But as they said, that those could easily be added on later if you decide to do that. And if you decide at some point to move on with a second high school, you won't need that extra space in any event.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
So we don't give people false hope. This is a wonderful idea. I just wish it was shorter so we could get the new high school in a different location quicker. We need a new high school. So let's move on, Madam Chair, please.
Thank you. So before you speak, Mike, can I get a motion for the high school project, for the reduction of capacity?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the amended budget and the high school plans that reflect a student capacity of 2240 and 2484 square feet.
Can I get a second?
A second.
We have a motion, it's been second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we will have MVP, and that'll be Mike Burns.
Superintendent, Madam Chair, Board. At the request of the superintendent, and attorney, we were contacted in order to take a look at the projects that you had and the scope of work that you had. And to provide back a service that we typically do, and one that I have been involved with for the past 30 years, is assistant superintendent for Wake County Schools, building new schools and trying to keep them on budget, and make sure that all the items that, from an owner's perspective, and we only work for owners, are addressed properly. So after a discussion with Dr. Register and Dr. Hunt, and going through the scope of work, after a discussion with the architect and with Metcon, we took a look at what we would typically do on a project as a role to help an owner assist them in the capital project, and made adjustments to fees and proposals that we have, and submitted this fee proposal to you. In the typical role of an owner's rep, we would spend a few hours each week with the pre-construction side. We make sure that your budget is on track. We make sure that your the constructability that you're already paying for from the Metcon's contract is addressed properly, and that those items that are noted are incorporated into the drawings. We then make sure that the bidding process and pre-qualification process is accurate and follow the state guidelines and rules and statutes that are involved with that. After the recommendation for award of all the subcontracts are in place, we go through all those bids and make sure that the presentation that's being made by Metcon is accurate and to your best interest in the project. And I have no doubt that it will be, but I just want to make sure that as an owner that I know that I got the best deal and there's something else was not out there. As we move into the construction phase, we want to make sure that the project is being constructed properly, and that the work that you've hired Metcon and for the architect to do in their inspections are in place. And as an owner's representative, it supplements your staff to be able to go do those services. And speaking with Dr. Hunt and your maintenance director, they had requested additional time to be available to do that. And we have the project managers and myself that go out and do that. I just got back from Tar Heel Elementary School today doing that same thing. And so by combining those hours that we anticipate for this 2-year project, we've given you a proposal for pre-construction services to get through the design phase, through the construction period, and through the observation of the construction during that phase. This is the proposal that you have in front of that is for those services. And we have been happy to be able to present the services that we have so far to make sure that your budget is on track. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about MVP, we are a 300+ member company. We have offices all the way up and down the East Coast. We have offices in Raleigh and Charlotte and in Rock Hill. We only work for owners. So we're not a general contractor, we're not a designer, but we've probably all been in those roles in the past. Next slide. You can see the scope of our services and where we do our work. Again, we work for federal government, we work for state and local agencies, we work for higher education, and we work for a lot of school systems and VDOT, NCDOT. Well, and these are the services that we provide for our clients. We take everything from the conception of the project all the way through the construction and the management of that construction. And then we also do a large part of our work working for attorneys when things have not gone well. We go back and provide those elements of services that either someone provided or failed to provide. Next. And these are some of the clients that we are currently working for and have done service for. You can see a number of higher education services in the local school districts. And I think what sets us apart is, again, we only work for owners. We've all been in the role of being an owner in the past, and we appreciate the value that our contractors and architects can bring. But from an owner's perspective, it's always in your best interest to be able to have the time to be able to make sure the services are delivered properly. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Burris? At this time, we need a motion to accept Mr. Mike Burris' contract on behalf of MVP.
Madam Chair, point of order, this is not the contract's not yet before you. This is a motion to select MVP for owner construction management services. And if approved, the contract will come back to you at a later date. There's a signature page, but you'll see above the signature, it indicates that if these terms are acceptable, a contract will be negotiated between MVP and the district that will come back for board approval at another time.
Dr. Register, is that not what we was coming here, for him to do today?
You are correct, Madam Chair.
Has the board, have y'all viewed the contract?
This isn't a contract, Madam Chair. This is, you'll see if you go to page 5.
I'm looking at, what am I looking at now?
In that middle paragraph, there's 2 lines in the middle, offset at the top. It says the other terms and conditions of this assignment will be mutually agreed upon by both parties upon execution of a contract between MVP and the client. So this is just a request for proposal that is being brought to you for recommendation for acceptance.
So what is he gonna come back for?
The contract will be brought back to you once it's negotiated. Once you accept them as the owner's representative, then the contract will be negotiated between our office on your behalf and MVP, and it will come back to you in a month for approval.
So yeah, that was
Madam
not
Chair.
what was told to us. Go ahead.
I'm looking at a contract and it's on the action items, so I'm a little confused here.
I am too.
If you go to the letter on March 8th, at the top of this, it says this is a request for proposal, and it describes the scope of the project and the scope of the services, estimated budget and schedule, and then there's some terms and conditions. That's all what was submitted in response to a request for proposal. So once you accept the RFP, which is what is being brought to you tonight, the contract is then developed and negotiated on the terms of the RFP and other additional items, which is what is indicated at the bottom of this letter from MVP. The other terms and conditions will be negotiated upon execution of the contract.
Information.
No, you need to accept the RFP first. That's an action item.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
point
ma'am.
of order, can I make the motion?
Mhm.
I move to accept the RFP by MVP, the request.
So is the request for proposal and?
The request proposal.
Okay. So motion on the floor, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussions? Motion on the floor to accept the request proposal from MVP. It's been second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Next, as action item, is the selection of vendor of printing services. This will be Ms. Ronnie Chavis, our finance officer, our chief finance officer, as well as Mr. Alan Douglas, our director of audiovisual department.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Register, Superintendent. What we're here tonight is to present our RFP for our printing services for Hope County School District. Our current printing services, our contract expires June 30th of 2023. So February 17th of 2023, we submitted an RFP, we put it out on our website for proposals for our printing services for the district. We listed specifications for printing and copying services and the terms of the contract which we were interested in. We contacted various vendors that had previously reached out to Hope County Schools stating that they would be interested in bidding on our copying and printing services. We ran our RFP for about 3 weeks and we had 2 proposals that were received. Mr. Douglas and myself reviewed those proposals to determine which candidate would best meet the needs of Hope County schools. Just for information, we currently have 234 copiers or printers in our district. So vendor number 1, their bid came in at approximately $237,596 annually. They would maintain the current copy inventory and printers and any additional printers or copiers needed if feasible at no additional cost. They would provide an unlimited number of black and white copies, and the cost they use to determine what we pay them is based on the number of students per ADM. Color copies cost based on the number of copies made. So whenever we make color copies, that's a charge per copy. Vendor number 2 had a cost of $269,128 annually. Their first recommendation was to reduce the number of copiers / printers from 234 down to 87 devices. And then any additional copiers and printers would incur an additional cost. Their proposal included a per copier amount per month charge. And then they would limit the number of copies per device. And when we exceeded the number of copies on that device, there would be an additional cost per copy regardless of the black and white or color. So I'm gonna let Mr. Douglas tell us about, our recommendation would be Toshiba Business Solutions, which was our first vendor that we looked at. Toshiba is currently our vendor now, and Mr. Douglas can tell you about our experience with Toshiba.
Just to add a little bit, we've had a real good relationship with Toshiba. We've been there with them for a while. Putting this out competitively, I think they proved that their price is where it needs to be. So, with that, 3 reasons. They're the best price, they're giving us the best equipment and service, as far as our proposals that came in, and they're proven. Their contract is much easier for us to manage. In other words, we're not having to put program numbers in machines for device, constantly adjusting whether they're limited or not. We sort of do that limit through the amount of paper that we supply to schools. So not having all those restrictions on the machine, this makes it a much easier beast to manage. So we feel real good. I think this is a real good deal for Hope County schools. So thank you.
So this was vendor, which one, number 1 and number 2? Number 1.
Vendor number 1 would be Toshiba Business Solutions.
Who was vendor 2?
System.
System,
System.
okay. Y'all have any questions for her?
Madam Chair.
I do. I'm sorry, go ahead.
These 234 copiers and printers, whose are they?
They actually belong to the vendor. We don't own them.
It's, in other words, it's
Toshiba?
I'm sorry.
Who do they belong to?
Toshiba Business Solutions, and we are really entering into a service agreement with them. They maintain the ownership. We're not really cost per copy on the black and white. It's based on our enrollment, and then we pay each time we make a color copy. So, you know, it keeps us current with machines. We have a problem with one, they can't fix it, they bring us some
And they also provide the toner and the service. The only cost, the additional cost we have with Toshiba is staples. Yes, ma'am.
And Alan, what is your budget for? So is it for papers and the budget that you did?
Okay, we do centrally provide that supply, the paper supply to the schools. So we do that in addition to the equipment being placed in the departments and schools.
Were you asking the amount of the budget?
No, I was asking what the amount of budget that he get, what is it?
For paper, we do about 150,000.
That's correct.
And then what did he do with that budget? Because everybody's always in and out. Alan stays busy. And I just wanted to know, because he stays busy, they work him. And I just wanted to know, you know, was the paper that they wanted, because you're always going out, you know, and I just want to know the budget.
Well, and when we say paper, you know, when we think of paper, we kind of, but we do have a centralized print shop. So a lot of what you're seeing are those specialty and specialty supplies.
Yeah.
Okay, any more questions? Thank you. Okay, we need a motion, please.
Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm moving to approve the recommendation for Toshiba Business Solution for our printer.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the selection of the vendor of printing services. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, this concludes our action items.
Thank you. At this time, we'll be going into our administration. Information. We'll turn it back over to you, Dr. Rachel.
We have two information items. The first will be school safety grant, and that will be Dr. Peggy Owens, our Executive Director of Student Support Services.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Madam Interim Superintendent, and members of the board. Tonight, we just want to provide you a brief overview of our school safety grants. And we're going to start just by doing a recap of our strategic plan, priority number 2, which is student well-being. And so the safety grant, you have a copy of that, is written based on priority number 2, as we always try to align and connect our work. Next slide, please. This is goal number 2 of student well-being: promote productive learning environments that are safe, equitable, respectful, culturally sensitive, and student-centered. So with that said, we just want to provide you a look at our discipline for over a 5-year period. If you notice, you can see the results of that for 2021-22, our previous year, that we had a total of 43 reportables, Then in 2021, which was primarily our COVID year, we only had 8 reportables. And for 2019-20, a total of 31. And then for 2019-2018, 42. And I believe one was off the board for 2018, 2017-18 was a total of 59 reportables. Our reportable data is what makes up our school report card. That's reported in that document in addition to the number of suspensions. As you can see, those incidents that was reported as related to short-term suspension, long-term suspension, and in-school suspension, and also our bullying incidents for the past 5 years. Next slide. Also, we have included for you our mental health data, which involves our risk assessment for self-harm, those screenings, our threat assessment, and also we also included our ABA analysis data for you as well. Next slide. Go to the next slide here, and then we'll come back to it. So in terms of writing the safety grant, all of that data was included in the narrative. Now, currently, prior to writing the grants, these are some of the safety measures that we currently have in place in Hope County schools. I won't read all of those to you. I will not insult you with that because you've had an opportunity to review. So if you would go back to the previous slide, you've heard about our RAID app. That particular system, and I think that we've shared that with you at an earlier rate. Dr. Ramsher and Dr. Hunt specifically handled this particular app for us. Also, here comes the bus. I believe that Mr. Brown has left us, but this again, in terms of being able to track where the buses are located, this system helped us and allow us to do that. Parents can also know where their students are in real time. So all of this was a part that we included information in the grant. So we wrote the grant last fall from the Department of Public Instruction, North Carolina Department of Instruction, for the Center for Safer Schools. We were actually awarded a total of $278,885. With that breakdown, was $44,000 for a resource officer, $159,885 for school safety equipment, and $75,000 for student in crisis. So as a result of our safety equipment, one of the things that we did was to install the iPhone, and this is a B, and Dr. Hunt, you may want to, I'm sure that all of us, if we've been in school lately, we've had an opportunity to encounter these in real time. Dr. Hunt, you may want to add a little something to it, but this has been really great because, you know, the receptionist or whomever's at the front door, they don't have to get up, you know, and kind of let you in anymore. You just ring the bell, you know, and they can actually buzz you in. You have to identify yourself, and of course, you do wear our IDs. Anything you would like to add to that, Dr.
No, but as she said, it has cut down on the amount of traffic going in. It's cut down on the work and the time of the receptionist of having to get up and walk to the door. Now they can multitask and address a parent that may be in front of them while at the same time verifying who's trying to gain entry to the building. But it's also a security feature to those that may want to gain access to campus to do some type of harm. Also cannot gain entry because we're keeping the doors locked, the exterior doors locked. So it is very beneficial for all parties.
I guess I probably need to ask Chad, can we add that to Alan? Can we add that to AV,
that AV and, yeah, because I've been asking about that all the time, about you have the bell, but you don't have, someone has to get up, either Ms. Lynn or Ms. Tillman have to get up from their office and go all the way to the door. And that door is glass door, so they don't know who's at the door until they get there. And then, so I think it would be feasible to probably put them in all our business for safety, but I've been asking about that since we moved over there and we moved away from AD at our building on Turnpike Road.
So part of that conversation, whenever we first started this process, was to start at schools and then branch out to our central office location.
I mean, we're getting it, Alan.
But I think, and I'll put a plug in for my neighbor, technology.
Yeah, well, I was talking about technology and all, because we be over there.
But I do agree with Dr. Hunt with us trying to secure students.
Certainly.
I think our right place to start was in schools. But thank you.
And any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Owens. All right, go ahead, Dr. Register.
Okay, I was just gonna say the second item that we have for information will be the Roots Mentoring Program.
Madam Chair, board members, thank you. Tonight, we are Roots Mentoring Program. Tonight, we just wanna basically explain who we are, what we do, and how we can be an asset to the whole county community. Next slide. So, Roots started out as only males. And we actually had young ladies and parents that were like, okay, where are the females? So we do have two divisions. We have majority males because that's what we started out with, but our female division is growing and it's amazing. Next slide, please. Our mission statement is to raise the conscious level of the youth that we serve by teaching accountability, code switching, and proper communication skills, which is a lot of things that we lack, in our communities, all over the United States, but definitely around it. Next slide. So our sessions, I'll let Ms. Wilson, she is a Hope County resident for how many years? So she'll tell what the sessions are and exactly some of the things that we do in Roots.
Yes, so good evening. The Real Talk sessions we host monthly, the third Thursday of the month at Mount Pisgah Missionary Baptist Church. And those sessions are from 6 to 7:30. It includes children of all ages. Also, it includes college-age children, and oftentimes parents do attend. So usually we have around between 25 to 30 on a monthly basis there that come. We do feed the children, but we have engaging sessions, and these sessions include discussions that are relevant to the youth. The discussions may be about stress management, it may be about relationship building, leadership, career. We did a financial literacy workshop, which was, the money box. So we're doing various things and through these sessions there. The benefits that the topics are relevant, it improves the overall well-being of the children. It also gives the adults an opportunity to listen and understand this generation as well. It demonstrates as well that the children are important, and also they are communicating in these sessions as well. So it also, gives them an opportunity to be heard, which is important that they matter. So it's open to the public with monthly, like I said, come to Mount Pisgah, and we look forward to being an asset. Any questions on those sessions?
What is it?
It is the third Thursday, yes, from 6 to 7:30.
What's the ages?
It's actually all ages. We don't, make it where certain age groups can come, but what we do, we differentiate the content and also maybe the sessions. It may be a group here, over there, and a group over there, but we make sure that we scan the room and we're able to differentiate the lessons that we are talking, the discussion that is appropriate.
Are you a facilitator there?
I'm a member of Mount Pisgah, but I also help them over the women's division.
Are you a member?
Yes, I am.
So, you was asking about age, the ages. What we noticed is based off the topic is what age groups are coming in. We have a teen talk and of course, a lot of times it's teens, but we have had sessions where we have kindergartners and we have to, allocate for them being there and parents are there, but it's always a great session. I'm gonna have Casey speak on the field trips and the incentives that we do.
Good evening, board. I'm Casey. I'm the VP for the Roots Mentoring. I just want to add on, piggyback with also the uniqueness about the Roots Mentoring. We don't only just mentor at-risk community children. As they said, there's various age groups that come in. So what we would do is I'm part of the male executive team division. She's part of the women's executive team, but we also have a college executive team as well that cater to the high school students as well as it trickle on down to middle school as well as grades beneath that. So it's like a group effort, depending on the crowd that come in. We just kind of read the crowd and put people in places where they need to be. But along with that, I'm out in the community all the time. I work for another organization, but that organization is geared towards the community. What I would do is go into the at-risk community, look for children that are in certain situations, especially in the daytimes. A lot of children that's not in school, they kind of like wandering around. So what I would do is initially be a point of contact to establish some type of communication, build a rapport, ask about the parents, ask about community involvement as far as community watches, and just strive to take whatever they may need. I strive to be as resourceful as possible, bring it back to the team to figure out what they need and just bring them into the buildings. We also did numerous field trips. Recently one, I think we just did a youth summit in Raleigh. A book signing, I wish my dad just gathered a lot of kids and put them on the bus, and we just took them out there, sat down, book signing, questionnaire, and ate, and came back. It's just a lot of good things going, but we're just here to add on and action for a partnership, because I'm sure we all need help with our children out here. And if I can say that the crime rate amongst our children is skyrocketing at a younger age, and we all aware of that. So our job is to pay it forward to get back into the community, to try to give them a source to actually channel that energy and put it in another direction that's gonna help them grow.
Next slide, please. So this right here just explains exactly what the acronym of ROOTS stands for. And it's the Regiment of Overriding the Statistics. Because a lot of our kids are turning into exactly that, statistics. I have an 18-year-old nephew and he doesn't know what he wants to do at all right now. So we're trying to, what we do is like-minded individuals, successful, that have grown up in those communities. I'm from Dunn, North Carolina. Patrick Woods about 30 minutes that way. And what we try to do is take successful mentors, mentor college students to become successful mentors. And the college students also play a role in mentoring the smaller kids. Right now, we are at a couple locations in Fayetteville, but tonight we're not asking for anything from the board. We're just asking to be an asset to the community, because we see that the help is needed. So why not step up? We have so many people, they have enough negative out there. So we're trying to put positive influences and role models in front of them. Next slide. So this would be a pull-out session of how we show up. We don't want to show up with sagging pants or negative attire or anything like that. We always show up with professional looks, because a first impression is a lasting impression. Next slide. These are just different links that we've had. We've had online, like online mental forums for not just youth, but for parents as well. We like to pull the parents to the side. We like to discuss what they need and what they feel like they need, or even bringing things to the table for them as well, you know, because it starts with the parents. If we're not feeding into the parents, then how can we feed into the kids? You know, we're not gonna be with them kids 24/7. You know, the parents are gonna be around, so we try to, you know, put it together, and again, we're just trying to be an organization that comes to the table to actually become an asset to our community. These are just pictures from some of our sessions. We have an annual field day where we bring the kids out, and you know, everything is just a fun day. We play volleyball, there's bounce houses, there's music, there's everything. We're actually, this year we're gonna have our first annual gala to celebrate the organization and the community and a couple of community members. You guys are all invited to that. The information will come down the pipeline. The date is July 29th for the gala. And again, that's just celebrating the youth, celebrating the community, some of the leaders in the community. It's just a great night for us to, again, be a positive asset to the community. I can't say it enough. Any questions, comments?
So, Dr. McCrimmon, is he involved in this?
Yes, yes, so that's the pastor at church, yes. So he allows us to use the facility. They also normally come like for the Black History celebration. We had Roots was present. When we have our Juneteenth event, Roots normally take over and help with the children for our community day. Roots was there, and they again work with the children. So whatever we're doing, they are involved with the children, the youth there. Yes.
Anyone else have a question? My question is, you said you want to be an asset, how? In what way?
Well, we want to get, a lot of things that we think about is getting acclimated with the schools, starting with the schools to be able to promote our real talk sessions to the schools, but also be able to come into the schools. We have some members that actually go out to the schools and, you know, they play basketball with the kids after school, you know, just overall enforcing positivity, putting them in a position to be better members of society. Because again, when you sit in idle hands, you sit around all the time, you're going to think of, and most of the time with our kids, because I got 4 kids, and I know when they're not doing anything, they're trying to get in trouble. You know, so it's just trying to, like I said, bring positivity to the community.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, we're competing, you know, with the street, with some of the situations with the children. So when we host the real talk sessions, it gives them an opportunity to be in a different place, a safe setting as well. And so when we do the community events or we offer the field trips and the different activities, it pulls the children. So when coming into the school, they, you know, meet the mentors and groups. They are in schools of the alternative school in Scotland. And so in Cumberland County, so they're just looking to be an asset in Hope County as well. So they build a rapport with the students in the school. They can be invited to the events that's being hosted and the programs that's being offered in Hope County as well.
And I do want to add, I want to first thank Mr. Castellon, because he was the board member that brought this or rolled this up to our attention about the Roots Mentoring Program. It is so appropriate because earlier we just talked about the discipline rate and things that we can do to reduce that in terms of that school safety grant and some components that was in there. But I'm a firm believer that we need to strengthen partnerships in the community because we can't do it by ourselves. We can sit here, we can plan and we can put in strategies, but it has to be a village to help raise the children. And so I appreciate you all. I will personally reach out to you and have a conversation and see how can we move it forward where we can be a strong partner of Roots Mentoring Program. We appreciate the efforts that you were doing in our community and then also in the surrounding communities. We appreciate that. Any other members?
I just wanted to also reiterate, Mr. Covington, we didn't get to tell him, thank you for lending his boys yesterday to help out. And they have a great program, he has a great program, his school Boys to Men. And, also Up Church, they just did, what, Boys of Distinction?
Boys of Distinction.
So that would be, that'll be a start, but like Dr. Richardson said, that she will be reaching out to you.
They do have females there too.
Yeah.
Well, they have the Diamond Dolphins, I heard
No, they have females in their group too.
Yeah.
If I can say this before we sit down, from my experience going into these schools, the children do look forward to the college students or the mentees coming out. It's like, it's a different response. I don't know what it, I don't know if it's just because somebody outside of the school that's striving and helping them do right. That's what they look forward to, but it just always feel good when we walk in there and they literally see us coming, you see the excitement, so that's always good.
Madam Chair,
Thank you.
gentlemen, can you provide us information on how do you vet people to ensure Polk County school system, we deal with precious cargo, parents, you know, with all these students, they're like a precious cargo to parents, so I just want to make sure that, what do you do to vet people to make sure that we don't have a situation?
Right, so the compliance or whatever the policies are with the school, any volunteers and mentors that's coming out, they can just do the paperwork, the documentation for that, because that's what happened in Cumberland County in Scotland. We have processes and procedures that have to be followed, and I'm an educator as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair, this ends our information item section.
All right. We'd like to say, that we're about to go into our closed session. I want to thank everybody for coming, Mike and, for NetCon, SFLA, and Mr. Burris and, Roots and everybody that has attended. We're about to go into our closed session, so we're gonna, excuse you at this time. Thank you. We're gonna take maybe a 5-minute break to do a short.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
make a motion that